Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and yesterday in Destiny 2, we got the brand new Rites of the Nine event, which I think is a massive W, not only for casual players, those who might only have a clear or two, or maybe even none of some of these old dungeons, but also for those returning to the game and hardcore players as well. So let me go into what this event is and why I think it's so nice. First off, you want to head to the Rites of the Nine node, which is found under Eternity. This is where you will actually get a bunch of freebies right off the bat. You will not only find a chest that has an Izanagi's Burden if you don't have that exotic sniper rifle, which is very, very good. You'll also get some rolls of weapons that are okay, solid starters, but nothing spectacular, and some max power armor as well, so you can get up to the max level ahead of the DLC, and I think this is fine. Some people complain because of the power grinding that they had to do, but it's been so long in the season that most people are there anyway, and you don't want to kind of hinder players who are behind the curve. So you also will find the emissary there. They'll have a bunch of not only bounties, but also some other items to claim once you do some of the challenges. So definitely check that out. And then on the right hand side, you will find another chest. If you have been playing this episode already, you will have a bunch of Curios of the Nine, which will be automatically transferred into the currency which you'll get. That will allow you to open this chest and get some rewards. Now, one of the things to note is in this chest, you will actually be able to get adept versions and shiny adept versions of the weapons. But keep in mind, it is very rare. You have a limited amount of the currency, and so the chances of you getting those and getting the rolls that you want is very, very low. So it is a starting point, but not something to really bank on necessarily, and that's something that I think is a good thing. You want people to be opening those chests consistently, using their currency, and not feel like it's a waste because they don't have a chance of getting anything good. But you also don't want it to be the best way to get the best gear in this new event, in my personal opinion, so that way there is still something there to chase. Then you can also tackle the dungeons that'll be available. Right now, only Spire of the Watcher is the current available dungeon, and there's 3 different difficulty modes. The Explorer mode is very interesting to me because it does allow for players who have never done a dungeon before to not only try to complete it solo with some guidance, but you can also do it match made with some guidance as well, and I think both of those are viable options. It's almost a stepping stone towards completing the full dungeon by yourself. And I think that's a great way to handle these dungeons that have been around for a long time and haven't seen a lot of play in recent memory. A lot of times players will do only the newest dungeon, maybe the older dungeons from time to time to try to get exotics or whatever the case may be. But this Explorer mode, I think, is a great introduction for those who have always been a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant to tackle dungeons, especially as they try to learn mechanics. Maybe they need some additional help. Some people who might need to take a little bit more time, be a little bit more patient with them. And I'd honestly like to see this with older raids as well, because I do think it would open up raids and dungeons to a much wider range of players. The problem is when you're doing LFGs or when you're doing carries, oftentimes players will use cheese strats. They will try to hard carry. They'll just put the other players who are new to the dungeon, to the raid, on ad clear duty and not really have them working on mechanics, so those players never learn and they're not really comfortable with various roles. In the dungeon Rites of the Nine event with these dungeons, now you have the opportunity to replay several times on Explorer mode, really get comfortable with the map, not only the mechanics, but also the enemies, try different boss damage strategies, all that kind of good stuff. And it's really a great introduction to dungeons for those who might not tackle it often. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, you still have a contest mode dungeon, which is going to require min-maxed builds, high damage, really well coordinated teams, and something that I think is the aspirational content. So for me, with these old dungeons, this is the perfect way to kind of satisfy a wide range of players. Plus, if you do it on the hardest difficulty, you will also get better rewards, more likely to get adept shinies as well across those various encounters of the dungeon, and I think that's the way to do it. And something that you also have the seal to chase, you also have various challenges to do in the game to unlock, and I think all of that is why I'm a big fan of this. It's much different than the raid rotator we got in the past, which was also very nice, very fun, and a good introduction for those who wanted to do Pantheon. Was awesome, in my opinion. This is a lot different, but I think it's kind of following the same thing. And I do feel like this is the way Bungie should be reutilizing old content and allowing players who either have never completed it before to do so, but those who want to really challenge themselves to tackle these dungeons on contest mode with better rewards, with updated perks and all of that. And I think that's something that, again, for me, this is a big W. Plus, this is a good opportunity to fill a time frame where you otherwise might not have a lot of content. So while this isn't new content necessarily, it is something to hold people over while we wait for the new DLC. You'll have a couple new weapons releasing as well, with a Trials weapon, a Gambit weapon, as well as a Iron Banner, I believe, weapon, and a Nightfall weapon. Maybe not a Trials weapon, but a lot of new weapons as well during these next few weeks. And I think that's where Bungie has found their stride in a way that they don't get credit for. They found ways to fill the gaps where content might often be missing and might be lacking. And it's because this game is so old. I think they should do this maybe once per year, once per 6 months, whatever the case may be, with either Pantheon, with something like Rites of the Nine, but just change it up from time to time. Maybe introduce new dungeons. Maybe have a dungeon version of Pantheon where you have specific encounters to tackle. Maybe you have Rites of the Nine, but only for raids, where you do have this explorer beginning version of raids so everybody can learn the mechanics. I would love to see this for Last Wish. Now that we have craftable weapons, imagine you have a player who you can't farm explorer mode, but now they learn the Vault encounter. Now they learn how to properly do eyes for Riven. I think that would be absolutely massive for the community. And these are raids that probably don't see enough play at this particular time, and there's a lot of either brand new players or players who have never touched those raids that would really benefit from doing something of this nature. So I do hope this is a consideration in the future, especially with all this changes coming to like gear and all that, with the Edge of Fate DLC and with the new content coming in the summer. So this would be a perfect time, I think, maybe in the winter, fall time frame, whenever there's another gap in content, to have something of this nature for raids. Same thing for returning with Rites of the Nine, returning with Pantheon. There's a lot of options there that I think could be largely beneficial. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. In the gameplay, you'll probably also see me using the New Land Beyond. This thing is absolutely insane. I definitely recommend chasing this down if you have not gotten it. In order to get it, you do have to pre-order the deluxe version of the Edge of Fate combined DLC combo pack, but I think it's worth it, and I definitely enjoyed rocking the Darth Vader armor on my Titan as well. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like the video as always, comment, subscribe, have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.